From the perspective of human logic and language, the self is total paradox. And once the self is realized, then everything is recognized as being paradoxical. But the self is the source of paradox and the reason why paradox rules over Aristotelian logic. And therefore why anything is possible. Self, because of its paradoxical nature, is indescribable. It is both absence and presence. It cannot be determined as either one. It is both, it is neither. And the paradoxes of reality extend to the ethical plane, because from the perspective of the self, good is evil and evil is good. From the perspective of the absolute, there is only good. And this is why even what we take as being evil always leads to good in the long run. But what leads to good is good. But since the good also leads to evil, then we cannot say that the good that appears in the world is truly good. Only the absolute that is beyond good and evil has that quality that is beyond paradox. And only that realization of the self beyond duality dissolves the confusion that paradox creates for the linear mind. In the silence, in which naked awareness is both present and absent, in which the absence of any substantial self enables one to recognize that which is beyond substance, that which is beyond form, name, or locality, that which cannot be characterized or categorized in any terms of logic and cannot be determined. That nature of the self also results in indeterminacy in relation to the world. And it is the capacity to harness indeterminacy and paradox which produces magic. It is this siddhi of the capacity to use the paradoxical nature of the self, to deploy it in the service of God through that emanation of energy that cannot be determined, that produces events of a magical nature, which cannot be described as either hallucinations or visions or realizations of higher truth and interdimensional beings and realities. Once the portal beyond the logical mind and its limitations of belief and of expectation of possibility are removed, then all of that which is possible to the mind in dream becomes realizable in the phenomenal plane. Because this plane is also constituted as a dream field. It is when we understand and have mastery over the field of the dream that is the cosmos that we will be able to determine through the indeterminacy of cause and effect, but through the power of the love of the Supreme Intelligence, to bring about a destiny that seems to be impossible, but is paradoxically related to that which is currently referred to as science. But a science of consciousness that transcends the dualistic logic of yes or no, true or false, enables the world to become in its very nature an emanation of that magical power that is the quality of the supreme reality in its revealed form. The revelation is the revelation of the miraculous. And the disappearance of that which is pedestrian, that which pertains to a flat land that never was, that which pertains to the world that the ego believes in, with all of its limitations of possibility, with all of its lack of creative intelligence, with all of its boredom surrounding those paranormal levels of reality that cannot be proven. It is the willingness to investigate the miraculous, which is the nature of the self, that is the specific function of Sat Yoga. But the beginning of this investigation cannot take place until there has been the recognition of one's own paradoxical nature. As both invisible and yet present. Both human and divine. As that intelligence that never appears but reveals all. It is the entry into the dimension of the miraculous that is the gift of grace. That can occur only once the ego's form, which is the final obstacle, is dissolved, annihilated. And unmourned forever. In other words, there is no looking back there is no falling back. There is no sense of an I thought that reappears. The emptiness is complete. And the emptiness in its completeness is filled with power, with bliss, with love, with light, but with the power to perform the miraculous. And it is in this time of system failure that is not only a product of negligence and stupidity, but of malignancy in the phenomenal plane in the form of cyber warfare and the form of the destruction of electric grids and the internet and systems of financial conduct of commerce, and all of the various systems such as nuclear reactors and launch systems of ballistic missiles that are being sabotaged by demonic forces. But as it becomes ever more clear to those who are awakened in the world that the demonic forces have gained complete hegemony, complete control over all of the systems, there is also understanding of why it is inevitable that those systems must fail and why the demonic must lose. But it can only lose once there has appeared the supreme power of God consciousness, which is the only power that can triumph over these demonic forces.